In order to give you a taste of Bali life, I'm going to give you some example prices of things here and some top tips. I am sure you've heard about, particularly when compared to the likes of the US and Europe and London, definitely, life does come at a fraction of the cost here. I get my laundry done once a week here and it costs me £2. It gets washed, dried, folded beautifully. Most people get around here by motorbike, and if you want one for yourself, highly recommend for the flexibility and adventure, and you will look to pay about £4 a day for a bike. Of course, if you're staying here longer, you can always negotiate a lower price. Filling up your bike costs pennies. I think it's 50p a litre, £10,000 per 10,000 Indonesian rupee per litre, literally nothing. A meal in a Western establishment like a Western cafe costs between £3 and £6. Obviously you can spend more, but on average about 65 to 100,000 Indonesian rupiah. If you are traveling Bali on a budget or just want to experience the local culture, local warongs, and eat cheap and local, you can get a dish for like £1, like a proper nasi goreng dish for £1. Accommodation for a night varies hugely. You can get hostels for like £2 or £3. We've been spending about £15 to £20 a night, which has got us really nice, decent, clean. Nothing fancy though, but double bed with a private bathroom, so like a private room. You can for sure spend a lot of money on accommodation here, but you can also do it really cheap. A standard bottle of water costs about 3,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is 15 pence, I think. A bintang, which is their local beer here in Bali, is around 35,000. I think that in the last couple of years that's increased. I think import tax has increased on alcohol. A few things that are actually pretty expensive here in Bali, I found are wine. Wine is actually more expensive here than it is at home, so having a glass of wine, or actually even at the big brand spirits like ACCOMMODATION, favourite, you will pay more than you will at home, which is crazy, but they have import and alcohol taxes here. Another thing that's pretty expensive is sun cream, or getting a good sun cream. Comparatively, the sun cream I buy at home is twice the price here. Again, import taxes. Same actually goes with tampons. Very expensive. Top tips when visiting Bali. Again, for more extensive top tips and guides, please see in the description below. In Bali, you will need 2-pin, which is like the European plug, or the UK 3-pin plug. I don't know if that's what they're actually called, but the one you use in the UK or the one you use in Europe, they are the main ones. Mainly I would say Europe, and then I've seen quite a few UK ones, but yeah, mainly the 2-pin thing. SIM cards. I would really recommend getting one when you get here, unless you have international roaming data, because it's just super handy and they're so cheap. Most businesses here operate on WhatsApp, so for example, I've got a massage booked later, drop them a message on WhatsApp and it's booked. So for booking things, for inquiring about adventures, and for Google Maps, it's just makes your life so much easier. Drinking water. Tap water here in Bali is not drinkable, it's not recommended to drink. That is quite often a cause of getting the Bali belly, which is a bacterial sickness which I have had on this trip, and I think on all my trips, because our bodies are just not used to that bacteria. So we want to avoid that by drinking bottled water. Actually is my second choice. I would say get the filtered water. A lot of the establishments here have filtered water, but I think it costs a lot for them, so they like to sell the bottled water for business reasons, but a lot of them do have filtered water and it is free. So just ask for filtered water and ask to fill up your water bottles instead of single-use plastic. Booking platforms for booking accommodation. I have been booking ahead and I've been using Airbnb and Agoda. I have found between the two, you get the best prices if you're booking online. The way to get the cheapest accommodation and rates is to negotiate in person, particularly with the local homestays, where you can say, look, I'm staying 5 days, can we do it a little bit cheaper? And you can usually negotiate. But for ease, obviously booking online is great. And Agoda and Airbnb are my top 2 choices. Visas. Okay, so you have a few options when it comes to visas for Bali, depending on how long you're planning to stay. If you are just doing a 2, 3, 4 week holiday, no longer than 4 weeks, you can get the 30-day free visa. That applies to most countries, but please check your local government website to see what your nationality is entitled to. I am from the UK and we are included in that 30-day free visa, and so you don't do anything before you arrive. You literally turn up to the airport, fill in the form, and they give you a stamp, and you just have to leave the country before the 30 days is up. If you choose to stay longer, which we actually did, we had to exit the country and come back in to get a new visa. So you have to do a visa run. Or if you know you want to stay beyond 30 days, when you arrive, you can arrive and apply for an extended visa or extendable visa, which you pay for, but you can then extend it if you want to. If you get the free 30-day one and you want to stay beyond 30 days, you cannot extend it you have to leave the country. Money in Bali. In Bali, you'll be using Indonesian rupiah, which looks a little bit like this. You'll see there's a lot of thousands, but I'm not a millionaire. In Bali, you'll be dealing with thousands because, for example, 100,000 rupiah is £5. So you'll feel like a millionaire, but you're not. You will want cash in Bali. A lot of places operate on cash only. Western establishments definitely do use card. More so than other places I've travelled, you'll want cash on you. Have some cash when you arrive, have cash for taxis, have cash. For safety, of course, you don't want to be carrying too much cash, so just get enough for your next few days and then go to the cash point and get more. If you are going to be withdrawing cash with a card, make sure you let your bank know where you are so that it doesn't get blocked. And it might be worth getting, like, I'm going to hide my numbers, like something like a Monzo card, which is a travel card where you don't have international withdrawal fees. Buying a sarong when you get here or bringing one with you is a great idea for both boys and girls, particularly for religious festivals or temple visits, because you are required to cover up your shoulders and your knees and pay respect to the religion and culture you're in. Travel insurance, get it? Seems silly, but particularly somewhere like this where there are a few more health and safety risks rolling around, you want to make sure you're covered if you need to go to the hospital or anything. Also for health and safety, make sure you go and see your travel doctor before you come to Bali to see what jabs and things they recommend for your visit at that time. Driving scooters and getting around. Okay, so scooters are the thing here in Bali. As soon as you get here, you'll realize that. If you want to explore beyond your hotel or resort, scooters are a great way to adventure. They're cheap, they're fast, and it's just awesome, but they do also come with health and safety risks. If you hire a scooter, make sure you have your IDP, your International Driver's Permit, which you apply for before you arrive here. It allows you to legally drive on the roads here. You will need to bring your driver's license or a copy of it, of your actual one from home, and wear a helmet. Driving on the roads here is something else. It's madness. There's no such thing as lanes, and it is just risky. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your noggin and wearing a helmet. You want those three things for your own peace of mind and to be legal, but also the police here are a little bit corrupt. So on the main roads, it tends to be, you might get pulled over by the police, and it's a way of them getting money off you. They will present you with a fine if you can't show them your IDP, your driver's license, or if you're not wearing a helmet, and they unfortunately do target international guests. They just don't pull over locals. It's not me being funny, they don't. So they pull over, you're not wearing a helmet, they're like, here you go, 1 million rupiah fine, which is £55, and you're like, I need to pay it. You can actually negotiate with them. You can be like, I was just heading home, I didn't get one from my rental place. You can actually negotiate the price. Don't, one, not wear a helmet, but two, take their price or their fine as final. Negotiate. That actually leads me nicely onto my last tip, which is negotiate. Everything here. If you're renting a scooter and you're going to be here for a week, negotiate the daily rate because you're here for a week. Same with accommodation, with surfboard hire, with anything. Negotiate. I hope this guide has been useful for you in planning your trip to Bali. Please leave a comment below if you've got any questions that you want to ask, and I will leave all the useful links below for you. I'll see you soon.